welcome over to the Boost View Podcast. Here on the Boost View Podcast,
hey Austin, your mouse batteries, they're low. I know you're in the middle of the final boss battle, but your batteries are low. You need to change them. Change your batteries.
All right, sure,
change them.
Sure, I mean, it's a wired mouse, but thank you.
We'll change the battery. We'll change the batteries.
All right, thanks. Great, I love it.
You're welcome. Love you. Hey,
all right. Well, welcome everybody to the Boost View Podcast. Today's episode, we're going to talk about.
Hello, Austin. There is a 15% chance that it will rain this afternoon.
Yeah, is that? What's that going to do? Is that going to affect like the views on the video or like?
I've already left.
Okay, yeah, that's, you know what, valid. All right, we don't have a guest this episode. Welcome over to the Boost View Podcast. We have a guest, and we're going to do Skyward Sword today, I think. Okay,
there's an 85% chance that this intro will flop, reset immediately.
Thank you so much, Fuse. Welcome everybody to the Boost View Podcast. Here in the Boost View Podcast, we like to look at Nintendo games, new and old, give them a review and a look at in retrospect. Today's episode, we return back to the Legend of Zelda series with the Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. My personal favorite, a very controversial entry. But before we get into that any further, my name is Favlam.
Hello, my name is Gabe, or Excellion96, and look how cool this ocarina is I got.
It's a different game.
For Zelda, it's
a harp in this one.
No, it's an ocarina. No, I don't know what you're talking about.
Ocarina. Anyway, I'm Fuse, aka Short to Fuse.
I'm Hasty, the guest today.
Yeah.
Welcome back, Hasty.
Thank you.
She's back.
Happy to be back.
Everyone.
Always great to have Hasty on. Last time we had Hasty on for Gen 2. Another controversial. No, I'm just kidding. Another controversial energy. No. So me and Hasty are some of the 4 people on this planet that actually like this video game that we're about to talk about today. We were like, okay, we gotta do an episode on it. Oh, well, you know what I mean. There's ever since Eagle Raptor dropped that video, it's been crazy.
Oh, yeah.
It's been crazy.
Yes.
Back in 2012, he dropped that video. No.
Yeah. Sequelitis.
Sequelitis, man. So today, like I said, we're talking about The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword, a great game in the series, something that got recently remade on the Switch, has a lot of references made to it in Tears of the Kingdom, etc., etc. It's probably one of the most pivotal entries in the series in terms of just like, it was the last of the old 3D format of it being very like railroady / like it just feels like you're kind of experiencing a story rather than the Breath of the Wild format or the 2D format where it's more like you go and explore, do what you want. It was also controversial because of motion controls for the Wii. It was also controversial for many of its backtracking and just pacing of the story. And a lot of people compared it to Wind Waker in terms of like how it was lacking content compared to Wind Waker. Lots of things like that. My initial impressions, this was actually my very first Zelda game, which is probably why it has a soft spot in my heart. I played this game when it came out, and then I actually bought, Twilight Princess first. I played it for like 5 minutes and I hated it. Or I didn't hate it, but I just like, I don't know. I just didn't jive with it. And then I played this one, and this one is I played through completely, and I loved it. And then I went back and played Twilight Princess, and I found the love. I found the charm and the love in that one as well. I think it's good. I didn't notice those pacing issues as a kid. Again, it might have just been because it was my first entry. Going back and revisiting on the Switch version, I definitely think that it helped a lot with like making you basically putting the mute button on Fee, things like that. But yeah, my overall impressions of it are pretty positive. I know it could be either or, but let's ask our wonderful guest, Hasty. What are some of your first impressions of this game?
All right, so my first experience playing this game, I was in high school, and I remember I was so excited for the game to come out. I bought it on a Friday, and I played it until I finished it for the whole weekend. I did not leave my room until the game was over with. Like, I only left my room to, like, eat dinner. And
those are the best weekends in like gaming. Like just
Yeah.
like
Right?
binge play stuff. Ugh.
yeah, and like my dad never judged me for like just never leaving my room. He's like, do you need anything?" Or but
You
Yeah,
lied.
right?
so I loved it. The game, like I played it in one dose. So like my opinions on the game are very biased towards like loving it, but I agree there were some pacing problems. There's a lot of backtracking, like you were saying, and it felt very like repetitive at times. Like you're going to these locations and then you think you're done, and then it's like surprise you have to go back to those 3 locations. But I felt like the character development and the villains and the storylines themselves just made up for everything that you had to go through in that game. Like the final 30 minutes of the game made every single hour previously worth it, in my opinion. So I think the characters are what really make it for me.
1000%. Some of the most memorable in the entire series, and I think I'm sad that they aren't referenced more in later games and later entries, in my personal opinion.
What if we got a character like Garus that had, like in Tears of the Kingdom, that obviously was kind of like a reference with like the hair.
Yeah, it could even just be a reference or like his ancestor or something. That'd be so cool.
We don't get any himbos in Tears of the Kingdom.
I know.
Exactly.
What the heck? Gabe, tell us what was your first impressions of it. Obviously, you aren't as, you're not hating it, but you're definitely not as bright and shiny reviews as we're giving it right now.
Oh, sure. So, very first thing, seeing like the commercials, the trailers, all that stuff, I was like, I love how they kind of mix the art styles. They were like, oh, it's like, I think watercolor art style is what it is. So, the Wii had very limited hardware, so that was a great way for it to run smoothly, look really pretty still. They kind of combined like Wind Waker's more cartoony with Twilight Princess is more kind of like realistic, like gritty, sharp looking, characters, art style, kind of things like that. So I think that was like a great move for them. You can still kind of see it's kind of the art style in like Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. Yes, different, but it is definitely something that's still kind of going for them. I watched my brother David play it for a long time. I could tell right off the bat the whole motion controls thing. We were just like, I know that we'll talk about that later in the episode, but when we started really experiencing the sword stuff, we were like, oh, this is weird. But we loved the sky. The sky was some of the like. It was really cool because in Zelda, you're up in the sky sometimes, but like the sky being the main thing in this game was like, whoa, a breath of fresh air. So yeah, really just, overall it was just very, very pretty, and I love just kind of the warm and like welcoming atmosphere of the game, starting out and being able to play it like that.
Skyloft is so homey.
Right.
It is. It's so cozy, and the music, it's so just like a Sunday, like a Saturday afternoon, Sunday, kind of, like around 11 or 12 in the afternoon, or whatever.
That's
Gabe,
Skyloft.
Oh yeah, 1000%. I sent you that link of like the music, by the way, if you want to like use that instead of YouTube, because it'll be a lot easier to pull up like the full OST. Anyways.
Oh wait. Okay.
Views. I know, looking outside or looking in, give us that perspective on this game, since you haven't necessarily played it.
Yeah. The harp.
There it is, yet again.
There it is.
Just screw the harp, dude. I hate
The
it.
harp is the harp is a little difficult to play. I won't lie. Like to get with the motion controls, it's hard to sync up. It is hard to sync up. I will give him that.
Controls. Oh my god.
Yeah. In the Switch version, so for anybody who doesn't know, so I guess we can go ahead and move on to motion controls because that directly ties into it, right? So the motion controls in this game was extremely controversial. I think they work better on the Wii than they do the Switch. I think they're ass on the Switch. I think they don't work really well at all. On the Wii, I think they work good for the most part. I never had like really bad issues with the motion controls on the Wii, at least in my memory.
Yeah, same.
But on the Switch, they're bad. They're really bad. But I enjoyed the way they kind of circumvented the accessibility of not using motion controls on the Switch. So what they did was you flick the stick in the direction of like where you want to swing your sword. And I thought that was pretty creative. I thought it was pretty enjoyable. I think on a Joy-Con it'd be harder to do. On a Pro Controller, I thought that was pretty seamless.
I did it on the Joy-Cons and it really wasn't that bad. It was kind of like kind of impressive the way that you could like seamlessly adapt to the controls. Like I was
That's awesome.
I remember before it came out, I was like, how the heck are they gonna do no motion controls?
Yeah.
But they actually did a really good job.
Yeah. No, I agree. And then they also added the fact that you can like look around. Like they kind of gave if you hold one of the I think it was one of the bumper buttons and
Yeah.
you
It's
can
left
move the
bumper,
stick.
yeah.
Yeah, so you could so now they added this feature of like, oh, you could actually look around, which was a complaint of the last game where you had to like go into first person mode, use the Wii remote and like point up. Oh, there's that eye I have to shoot. Boom. Yeah, stuff like that. But now you can
Hey,
just kind of
douse for something. Go douse. Oh wait, no, not
dowsing
there.
in the Wii
Yeah.
version is miserable. Dowsing in the Wii version is miserable.
It was an
The Switch
arm
version,
workout.
yeah, you're constantly holding. Yeah, so that was that was definitely some issues with it. But yeah, Gabe, what was your experience with like the motion controls and whatnot?
I loved breaking my wrist whenever I tried to on the Wii. Whenever I tried to go down with the bird, because you'll literally like break your thumb and dislocate it and like your tendon and everything if you are squeezing your thumb hard enough and you go like
carpal
that
tunnel.
really. Yeah, exactly. So I mean, it was just kind of awkward and just clumsy feeling. I understand they wanted to try something, but it was the same thing with Metroid Prime 3. It just was very gimmicky and it did not age the best. It was a little nicer in Metroid Prime 3, you know, like at least for flying and.
Yeah,
But I mean, ultimately, it never screwed me. And then, like with the sword swinging as well,
yeah.
there'd be times where you have to move your sword quickly to like the left side of the enemy so that you can hit them from that side because they're like shielding it. But you don't want to do it too quickly because it'll swing. It's like just sometimes I'm like,
Which the stick flicking actually solves that issue. So that was
It
another
does,
really creative
yes.
way to fix that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
I remember like
I
getting
felt-
stuck on an enemy and like taking so long to realize you had to do a diagonal slash or something instead of just
Yep.
hitting him willy nilly. It's like innovative, but
Right.
it took a lot of thinking and a lot of like preparation to like.
Yeah.
Yeah, fights definitely became more of like a puzzle than they became like fights. I don't know if that makes sense. Which I mean, I guess fights in video games are already kind of puzzly, but if they
Right.
became more like slow down and think about how you're gonna attack this guy, and not just like, okay, how can I combo this thing and like be really fast with it, you know?
Yeah, the gear him fights especially. It was like you needed
Oh,
to think
yeah.
quickly on those diagonal or horizontal slashes.
Yeah.
Oh, Gira him! I can't wait to talk about him.
I didn't know you could shield bash those you know like those like tiny little dots he does like in the he
Oh,
could
yeah.
shield bash them too. It's more effective just as sword, but
I think
cool.
this game. So I think in the development of this game, as far as I'm aware, I think there's rumors of it where they got, I think, 3 years in development of it, and they had to like start over because this game it was 5 years between Twilight Princess and when this one came out. So
right.
I think their initial concept with this game was something Breath of the Wild-esque, like more open world, because they have a lot of these elements of like crafting and using like crafting materials, and like you have expendable items that have durability, which really don't jive well with it. That's probably one of the weaker points of the game. And then of course in the Wii version, just a small complaint about it was every time you would get an item, say you get like a material piece or like a rupee, like a red rupee. It's like, oh, you got a red rupee. And it would give you the item description. And then whenever you get it whenever you would get it again throughout that play session, you wouldn't get the description. But when you would come back into the game, you would give you the item description again. You're like, I know what a red rupee is. Why are you explaining this to me again? So then you have to learn what a red rupee is 3 or 4 times. They fixed this in the Switch version, fair enough, but in the original version, that was definitely like an added on layer of like padding along with Fee's dialogue of her trying to constantly help you and trying to just that definitely slowed the pacing down a little bit. Fuse, do you have any remarks on that or any of that?
I'm
trying to keep you included.
Was just ass.
Yeah,
Just terrible.
They're not. I don't think they're terrible. I think they're fun and they can be done right. Like obviously Wii Sports, right? Like Wii Sports, that's how you do it right. You have to boil it down enough to like make it simple. Because if it's too complex, it becomes too, it gets lost in the nuance and you end up, getting desynced or whatever else. But like bowling, it's not like you just chuck that bitch and there was no like nuance. I mean, you could spin it and curve it a little bit if you tilted the Wii remote, but otherwise, there wasn't a lot to it other than.
I'm just saying, based on the sole 5 minutes of experience of watching a YouTube video of watching this guy fight the guy with the flaming hair in the fight.
I guess.
Girahim, yeah.
Oh no,
the last guy.
That's the final boss.
The
That's
final boss guy, and he's like trying to do like a sword combo, and he's like doing like a tabletop spin on accident because he just wanted to slash once. I'm like, oh, this dude's getting destroyed. He's gone. I was like, oh, this is hard to watch.
To be fair, the demise fight is so cool. We'll talk about that in a minute,
Yeah.
but that's such a sick fight.
It's
Yeah.
awesome.
Pacing, which I already started mentioning. Hey, Steve, talk about some pacing for us.
Talk
the
about
pacing of the game and
pacing?
what that- Yeah.
Well, yeah, the pacing in this game is hard because it's like there will be so many good bursts of lore and like story progression, but it's like
100%.
the way to get there can be such an uphill climb, and you have to like go through meeting side characters and side quests that like just don't pull you in as well.
Yep.
But there are highlights, you know, like as you go through the game, there are some good moments, but yeah, the pacing was difficult. It was difficult to get through.
Yeah. Some of the side quests I guess we could mention is like I think one of my favorite side quests was there's two of them. The pumpkin one, the pumpkin like diner place where they make the pumpkin soup. Love
Chandelier.
that. That's a great.
the pump. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that was technically it's technically story, like if doing like the first bit of it, but then like to complete that is side quest, which was always really fun. And then I also love the little demon guy at the bottom of the graveyard.
Yeah, he was cool.
I remember him.
Yeah, and it's little, and it just sucked to complete his side quest because it was such a grind.
Yeah.
Like getting the gratuity crystals from everybody in Skyloft.
Oh, yeah, that's fun. You know what I love about him? He's like that, you know, like that trope where it's like that big muscle, you know, like, you know, prison inmate who's like, who has a soft spot? He's like,
Yeah.
just tell her how you feel, man.
He's
You
just
know, that's
a
he's just like,
teddy
I
bear.
just want to be understood.
His eyebrows look like his eyes, and then his eyes are like two little dots. I don't know if you ever noticed
Yeah.
that. It's so lovely about him. And then I love that
Wasn't
the
that
little
little girl visiting
yeah,
him?
Yes.
the little girl.
Yeah, it's like it always reminded me of I think Monsters Inc. with
Yeah.
what's her name?
Boo.
The
Oh, and
little
Sully,
girl in there.
yeah, and
yeah,
Boo.
yep, yeah.
Totally.
I love that. Yeah, I love that.
It's cute.
Definitely some good side quests. The hand makes a return, I think, in like the bathroom. You know what I mean? The toilet hand.
Oh yeah,
I think he makes a return in
does.
this game. That's
Love
like
that.
Who brought that up?
there-
Who brought that up? Was it Smartby?
Yeah,
Or-
during one of our episodes, we made a joke that the hand
Yeah.
in Tears of the Kingdom is the hand from the toilet.
Oh.
Yeah, because that was the trailer, and that was before we knew like anything. That was like the trailer episode. We didn't know, we hadn't played the game yet.
Yeah,
Right.
that's a
How
really
does the
good
hand
theory.
wash his hands?
He lives in a
Huh?
toilet.
He just jumps in.
Yeah, he just jump. He just jumps in
just
the
be in the
toilet and
toilet.
starts splashing around,
You know, he just just
Yeah,
like
he just
swimming,
goes
or you
like
know, kind of like
that.
quickly, you know. Yeah.
He shakes it off, you know.
giving himself a swirly. That's crazy.
So
Is
he
he
gets
in-
dizzy every time.
I know the hand is in. I don't know if it's I think it's an Ocarina. I know it's in Majora's Mask. What else is it? Is it in any other entries? Or
Well, I mean, you have floor masters from like A Link to the Past,
That's
which grab,
true.
but that's
Right.
obviously like an enemy.
But
Because
it's
kind
that's
not
of
in
the
thing.
Wind
toilet
Waker.
hand.
The creepy.
Yeah.
They look like little wires,
those
and when you cut them out, they like their like guts spill
Yeah,
out.
like-
It was
Yeah.
gross.
Yeah.
The hand is also in the Oracle game. Well, it's in Oracle of Ages. I don't know about season.
I need to dude, I hope they make like a new Oracle Ages seasons,
That would be
like
cool.
Link's Awakening kind of.
Well, the ports are coming to the NES Online.
Oh, that's right.
I don't know
okay,
if they're
hell
already
yeah.
out.
I'll
but
be playing
They
this.
are at some point. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna
Fuck yeah.
replay those. Those are great.
I like that. I love that. Which ones are those? The ones that have multiplayer in it, or is that Four Swords?
That's Four Swords.
I think.
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
Force Wars.
Gotcha. Anyways,
Minish Cap
tangent-
actually
Yeah,
also
sorry.
did too. Sorry, but yeah.
No,
yeah,
you're good.
yeah,
You're
yeah.
good. You're good. You're fine. We were actually moving kind of fast, so that works. Yeah. So back to the pacing issue. So the biggest issue, though, for the pacing overall was that you have three main areas. You have Farron, Lanayru, and oh god, what's the other one called?
Eldon.
Eldon. Yes. So
Eldon.
Eldon's like the volcano area. We'll talk about the set pieces. Set pieces themselves inherently fantastic. Chef's kiss. They're great. I love all of them. They're all fun. The characters there, the Kikwis. I love the
The
Kikwis so much.
Kikwis are
Little-
so
Kikwis.
cute.
The
Yeah, they have
the
fun
little
little.
penguin-
And who are the guys in Eldon?
the little mole people. I don't know what they're called,
Yeah.
but they're just like little mole
I
guys.
can't-
They're like,
yeah.
hey, I always imagine them with like the
They're
scraggly
definitely
Italian at yeah. Hey,
Yep,
we're
yep.
little mole
Yeah.
people here.
Hey, square yourself to the back of the
Magmas.
line.
Magmas.
Magmas,
Yeah,
yeah.
good.
Those guys are cool.
Um,
They didn't give a
yeah.
crap.
And then is it the Zora? No, it's not the Zora. It's the
There is
Are
They're the
they
little robot guys.
the robots. Yeah, there
That's
are,
true. I was thinking of the fish people, but that's still in Farron.
Yeah.
But anyways, the robot guys, that one, Lanayru is I think it's Lanayru, the desert. Yeah.
It is,
That's
yeah.
my
Yeah.
favorite region because of the way they do the time warp mechanic of like you have
Yeah.
little you can create little pocket areas of like, oh, the time changes and then you can change stuff
Right.
and interact with things differently.
That
It's so
desert
cool.
area is horrible though. Like
It
Yeah.
is hard.
I
It is
remember
so hard
getting
the first
I was dying so much in that area. I remember like quitting at one
Yeah.
point. I had to walk
Yeah,
away.
and like trudging through the sand and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's difficult. But the real issue with the pacing was so in your first round you go through and you beat the dungeons in each area, right? Yeah, yeah, Fuse. You're right. That's you are a clown for playing this game, aren't you?
It doesn't go like.
Honk.
And then you go to the areas again, but when you go to those areas again, it's not as bad because you unlock kind of like a secondary area within that area. It's like
Floria
there's
Falls.
new stuff to find. The desert sea in Lanayru where it's like an ocean, so cool. And the way you
Love it.
navigate
Yeah.
that, it's
That place
great.
is cool.
Yeah.
You unlock the water area in Farron, and then you go basically just deeper into the volcano at Eldon, I believe. Yeah.
I think so.
Um,
Yeah. Further up and all that.
But then the third time you have to go to each area, that's when it
Yay!
becomes a bit tedious because you go to each area and then you have to beat a dungeon / whatever there, and then you have to do this wonderful, wonderful quest called the Sacred Realm.
Which, hey, the Sacred Realm is cool in and of itself, but it's just like they kind of recycled it from Twilight Princess's, Twilight Realm.
Yes.
And yes, it's really like, it's really urgent. It's really, it's kind of scary. It's kind of like,
Kinda. It's like
you're
it's
getting paid.
terrifying.
That shook me to my
kinda
core.
tense.
I still get
Yeah.
I wake up in the middle of the night sweating from that thing.
Oh yeah, and the fucking the little sentry guys. Oh my god, the one that flies around that looks like a little Poe. Oh my god, it's
Yeah.
I
crazy.
hate them.
Yeah.
guys are
I
wild.
think
Yeah, they're the worst.
if you
Fuse, they like you. They're like, Fuse, come here, let me grab you. I just want to.
Fuse, I promise, when we get to the Mario series, it'll be great. You'll have a great
Ready
time.
for the Mario series.
We just had to do Zelda because the game came out. Okay, we had to do Zelda. We had to
Making
capitalize.
sacrifices, gay.
Yeah.
Sacrifices for the podcast. Okay, we're going.
Oh,
That's right.
man. We'll do Spyro. That'll be the first one-off we do,
Yay.
just for you. We'll do Spyro.
Fuck, I
right
need to
for
play
you.
Spyro now.
Yeah.
Dude, we just go over the trilogy, the remake one. It's so good. I love it.
Yeah, honestly, I need to play it because I played the first Spyro
too.
game, but I haven't played any others, so I might just fucking grind the trilogy out. Anywho, I think the way you could have improved this game is if you just had the Sacred Realm be the third time around, and then that was it. I don't think you needed to go back to Eldon Volcano and then go get the fucking cooking pot to bring it back to Farron, and then take the
Oh.
Farron pot and
Oh
take it
my
back
God.
to Lanayru. Yeah, it was so many like fetch
I
quests
hate
that you had to
that
do at the end of the
quest,
day. The robot that you do for that quest is really funny though. I do love his
he's a
little
dick.
snarky remarks. Yeah.
You have sex with robots?
Yeah.
Basically.
Well, the robot is in
God.
love with your robot, and so he's
Yeah.
like mad that
Oh.
you're in the way of his robot.
Yeah, you
Oh,
have
that
a
makes
a robot in your sword named Fee, so we are replicating at the beginning of this podcast.
She's like the spirit of the Master Sword,
Yeah.
and she's very like
She's like Navi,
mean, she's, like,
but
pretty.
more woman shaped.
Mm-hmm.
correct. Think of like like Cortana, but a lot more like robotic. with how she
Yeah, that's
very
that's a great
Cortana,
comparison.
Yeah.
It's a great
Okay.
comparison. Yeah. Well, speaking of our favorite characters, what are some of y'all's? We'll start with you know what, Fuse. Who's your favorite character in this game?
Say Fee. Say Fee.
Yeah,
I'll
I would
say
say
Fee.
I would say
She's so
Demise.
Good
Demise
choice.
is a
Good
gr-
answer.
That's a great pick.
Good
That's actually a
answer.
great
Like,
pick.
'cause, like,
That's
I've
based.
seen, I've seen Demise from like people's like theory crafting for like Tears of the
Yeah.
Kingdom and stuff. So I was like, okay, this guy looks cool. I like him. So this is where like, does Demise like you meet Demise for the first time in this game, or does he come from other games? Or
So
He's-
so there's like a Zelda timeline, right? And the
Yeah.
way this game falls in the Zelda timeline is the very, very, very beginning. Like it comes before all the games prior, and
Okay.
it sets up the cycle that is like, Link and Zelda and Ganon reincarnating every however many years and fighting each other and blah 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 blah. So you fight Demise and he curses you and he says, blah 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 blah. You're gonna always have to deal with my ancestors, and you're gonna have to do that. I guess we should explain the story first before we go into any characters. So yeah, the story of this game is that you're at the beginning of the timeline. You're in Skyloft. Zelda gets stolen away from you from Skyloft. Your little town up in the sky. You go down. You go through the regions. You get all the stones. Then they're like, oh, you need to go back and get all this whatever's again. And then you go back again. And then you go back a third time. Eventually, though, there's a sealed ground area, and then in that sealed ground area, you periodically have to fight this like embodiment / demon that is that looks like Demise, or it doesn't look like Demise. It's like the big toad.
It's like a Titan
He
size
looks like
thing.
Yeah.
Grimace from
from
McDonald's.
McDonald's.
Oh yeah.
terrifying.
But he doesn't
Yeah.
have eyes.
Grimace.
He's huge, but he doesn't have eyes and he doesn't have hands. He's only got big feeties, and you have to like.
He
fight
does
his-
get
You have
hands.
to like
He
hit
does
his
get
toes.
hands.
Oh yeah, he does get hands by
Yeah.
the end of it, but you have to like hit his little toesies to kill
and
him.
he falls, and then you can like
That's
hit his
weird.
head. Yeah.
Yeah, you have to
So-
just, like smash a hammer in
Imagining
his
Grimace
forehead.
trying to destroy a village.
Yeah, imagine like a kaiju Grimace just boom going over the city. It just
Yeah.
The Hamburglar is his, his sword
Where's
spirit. Or
your
something.
local McDonald's?
Yes. This is Giverhim.
Give me a
I love it.
McDouble.
So yeah, and so Zelda, you're also playing this kind of like cat and mouse thing with Zelda the entire time, where she's like a step
Yeah.
ahead of you with oh my god, what's her name?
Impa.
Impa, yes, Impa. She's a step ahead of you with Impa. There's a young
Impa's a
version of Impa.
mommy in this game.
She is a mommy in this game. She's
I
fucking
remember
hot
what
as
she
fuck.
looks like.
She's-
I remember the old Impa.
So beautiful.
And eventually you catch up with her, and then you're also being chased by this other bad guy called Girahim. Oh, we love Girahim. Girahim's the best. He's just so like flamboyantly evil, and I just can't get enough of it. It's so
Yeah.
great. Yeah, he's just like, oh, Link, welcome here, Link.
Yeah, he's like kind of horny, but
yeah,
Yeah.
he
we
kind
forgive
of.
him.
He's very horny.
He's like
Brother,
horny
like-
for evil, though.
Does he lick
Yeah.
Link, or does he lick his sword like next to Link? I can't remember. He definitely gets that
it's
tongue
like
out.
it's like right next to
It's
him, and
next
he's like
to
trying to
him,
make him.
but-
Yeah, he's like, yeah, he gets that tongue out, baby. He got
Oh
the
my
Yeah.
god, he's the
He
Skyward
licks
Sword.
you, Fuse. He
So-
is Skyward Sword.
Basically, we find out later on that Girahim is is Demise's equivalent of Fee, which he's like the little sword spirit. Zelda gets locked away. You have to basically save her by going back to the past, like the original time that they locked Demise up, and then you have to go and defeat him. And Girahim's trying to use Zelda to unlock Demise and make sure that he can take over the world. And then you
Right.
stop him, and at the end of the game, Demise curses you and says you're gonna have to live with this for the rest. You and your ancestors are gonna have to live with this for the rest of your days. And that starts the cycle of the Legend of Zelda, and why it happens that way in every single game following. So it's a pretty cool
That's right.
story, honestly, overall.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I didn't know Legend of Zelda was like this. Honestly, I thought this like there's like attracted trouble every single game.
Yeah.
I was like, what
How
are
the
the
fuck are you
chances
back,
of 8
Ganondorf?
attempts of this woman getting kidnapped?
It's
What's
definitely a
happening?
retcon. Like, don't get me
Yeah.
wrong. Like, they didn't plan
Okay.
this out. It's definitely like a retcon, but it works though. So
It's a good,
yeah.
it's a very good like setup for why all of the games have like the same exact plot line every time. It like
Yeah.
makes it it gives it a better reason for all of it.
yeah, for sure. And
I really
you also
thought
have
they
some
were just unlucky.
yeah,
Well,
true.
they
They
are,
just
but-
fucked.
That
True. I
sucks
mean,
for them.
yeah. You have some awesome, colorful characters like Groose, like we were talking about before. Groose is is like the jock himbo at the beginning of the game. He's like, Zelda's gonna love me, you big bingo, and yeah, he's like, oh, we're gonna, take over the Skyloft, and then eventually he becomes like, comes to your side, and you guys are like friends. The scene where you are diving down into Farron and he follows after you and grabs you is the best. I've never laughed so hard in my life, like in a video game. It's such a great moment.
That part's so great because then Groose and old lady Impa build a relationship, and it's so cute. I love their
Yeah.
interactions.
Link, Grim just made me this delicious soup.
Yeah, exactly.
Like shit like that.
Really wholesome, and then Groose does all these things, like he makes like a bomb contraption to help like keep Demise like in the hole and all this other fun stuff like that. So anywho, Hasty, tell us about your favorite characters, some of your favorite moments in the game, all that jazz.
My favorite character, honestly, would be probably Impa or Zelda in this game.
Valid.
Just because I love her storyline in this game so much, like how she's just like the innocent, sweet princess in the game. She's like kind of getting caught up, and then like has Impa like basically leading her through like her own origin story, like how she's actually the goddess Hylia, and how bajillion years ago she did this, and this is her destiny, and blah blah blah. And I just I love like the unraveling of that story, but I love the ending as well, where it's like revealed that the old lady that you know in the game was Impa the whole time, because the bracelet she's wearing is the one that Zelda gave to her, and that part like makes me choke up so hard every time. Like once you get hit with that realization that that old lady is Impa, and that like you just watched their like story unravel, is like so beautiful.
Yeah, it really is. And then you get this like little sibling type vibe when at the very end of the game with Fee, when you have to seal her away and you can't, you're like, wait, you're the one, I can be you're annoying, but you're my annoying thing. Like, don't go away. Come on, please no. And yeah, it's sad, but also, yeah. Anyways, what were you gonna say?
It's so bittersweet, yeah.
It's bittersweet.
It was, I read it was years ago, but it was, you spend the whole, I think it was when I was listening to like Fee's Departure, whatever the song is called, but somebody in the comments was like, you spend the whole game being annoyed and hating Fee just to sob and cry when she's finally leaving. You're like, no, I took you for granted.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think that's what's beautiful about Fee too, is like the fact that she definitively tells you like we will likely never see each other again, but like just know that I'm always with you kind of thing. And it's like when you're watching things like Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, you're like, fuck, I want that little robot to come out of the sword so bad, but she won't. But like she can still talk to the characters, like, and it's like a if you know kind of thing. But if you don't know, then like you would be like, oh, it's just the sword doing sword.
I mean,
why is the sword flashing?
Yeah, even in Tears of the Kingdom, it's the same exact sound effect that Fee, like this, like the noise that she makes when she like pops out of the sword or like pings on your sword. It's the same exact sound effect in Tears of the Kingdom. It's such a cool little reference. I always love that. I'm like, there she is. That's Fee. I love her. She's in there.
You're like, that's my girl. I know her.
Yeah.
The batteries, Fee. Oh, do I need to change my batteries again, Fee? I'll do it for you, baby.
Okay. Has everybody here beaten the main story of Tears of the Kingdom?
No.
Not yet. I'm close.
Okay, I'm glad I did not say anything.
I'm almost there, man.
Don't say anything.
I was going to make a reference. It's been
like a month, so I'm like, I need to just finish the game, but I can't get myself to do it.
Well, have you done? Okay. Have you guys beaten the Dragon Tears quest?
Yes.
Have you finished that?
Yes.
Okay, it was a reference to that. Okay.
Okay.
So, spoiler alert for everybody who hasn't played Tears of the Kingdom. We're going to spoil all the
close your
quests.
ears.
Yeah, close your ears. Skip past it for like 2 seconds. I was gonna say, how long do we got to leave it in Zelda's head for Fee to like revive herself? How long do we got to let it ride in the dragon? So
I know, it makes me wonder, did Fee and Zelda have conversations in there?
Yeah, because she's in her head.
It's stuck in her brain.
Yeah, exactly.
Crazy.
That would be crazy. I just thought of that. It's
yeah.
Headcanon.
It's funny. I actually beat
time
all
to
the
write my
time
to write my fanfic. Anyways, what?
Yeah.
fanfic. Yeah. I think I saw all. Oh, Fuse, you can.
You're good. You're good.
I mean, I know he can still hear us, though.
Trying to understand what
Obviously.
is happening without hearing anything is wild. Because he's like, and I'm like, what the fuck is this happening right now?
There's a big octopus and it starts tickling Link's feet when Link is dipping his toes in the water. Just
you know what? He looks like the type that would like that. Yeah, he's a weirdo.
It's it's like a
He doesn't talk, man.
Yeah. Okay.
He doesn't need to.
Okay.
What do you mean he doesn't talk? He goes, yeah.
Look, guys, look at my kiki. Look at my kikis. Yeah, whatever. Okay.
All right, cool.
What's that?
I think I did all of the Dragon Tier not episodes. Oh my god.
Episodes, yeah.
Well, I hope so.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up. No, I did them all fucking before I even did my first temple, which I think is fun. I mean, I kind of wanted to anyway.
That's valid though.
Because once you do one, you want to finish the whole quest.
Exactly,
So
dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that and especially like, well, it doesn't really spoil it, but it definitely makes it like, okay, now you know there's something nefarious going on with the temples, right? You're like, oh wait, that's not Zelda. What's going on? All right. Anyways.
Yep.
Right. Gabe, favorite characters, favorite moments. Tell us about it.
Butt poop. I would say I'd say Girahim. Girahim's probably my favorite character. This game has a lot of really good characters. I love how Zelda is a psychopath who pushes Link off the, she's very like, Link, are you ready for the final
here we go.
thing to end the ceremony? And,
That's true.
and
She teases
She
him.
gave
about
him
to kiss.
She gave him a fucking cardigan and said, "All right, survive this 50-foot drop."
It's like that fucking like in, I don't know if you guys have seen Avatar: The Last Airbender when Sokka like puts his lips out for what's her name, Suki, and he's like, maybe this will remind you, and then like fucking Suki just throws him or whatever. It's like the same thing. Link is like, oh, is this my big chance? And then she just is like, yes, it is, and pushes him.
Love you.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
But so Gearham's probably just my favorite because he's so fun, he's so just flamboyant, and he's very unique. We have never seen we've seen unique characters in Zelda prior to this game, but he is unique to the series.
It's
at that
the
point.
first villain with personality in a Zelda game.
Yeah.
Other than like I don't think there was really. I mean, like I think Ganon Wind Waker was like the most personality, like the bad guy had. Like, there's been like these like what kind of in the middle characters, but that's the first time that we've had one that's like they just like drip of evil, and they have such a fun but also like horny and weird personality. And I don't, at least to my memory, I know there's some. I guess you could technically say Skull Kid. But Skull Kid's still pretty detached from it all.
I'm thinking the guy from the Minish Cap, maybe. Not
maybe.
Oh,
true.
yeah, Vadi.
That's true.
Yeah.
Vadi or Vadi, whatever his name is.
Yeah, he's kind of cool.
I know people. If like a final boss or the ultimate enemy or whatever, it doesn't. I don't think it's necessarily always a bad thing if like Ganondorf like. Sometimes he doesn't, you don't see him too long, like in Twilight Princess, or he doesn't really have any person. I'm like, oh, that's okay. I mean, sometimes he's just bad because he's bad. Like, remember, some people just want to see the world burn, whatever the quote. I don't remember what the quote is, but that's sometimes the bad guy is just a bad guy because it's a fucking curse. It's a curse from demise.
There is something so powerful about the fact that we don't see the big bad until the final scene of the game, like the very end. It's like we lose for a moment and then we win, but we feel like the moment of like, oh fuck, Gearham just won. But that ending.
And then I love how Demise actually he shows like a certain kind of mercy to Link. He's like, if you're smart, you'll stay behind and not enter this portal and live out the very short remaining life with who you love. But if you do want to go down in glory, come
you want
to
the
this portal,
smoke, come get it, bitch.
Yeah, if you want that smoke, dude, I'll give you the shmoney in the shlum, and then he's gonna go shlummy on him. But then obviously you have a lightning sword.
That's cool. God. Okay, and to be fair though, in that boss fight, so the boss fight itself is sick. It's like you're in this like plane of like water. Has anyone seen Demon Slayer? There's like a point when you go into the main character's consciousness in Demon Slayer, and it looks like that. It's like water, and it's like clouds and stuff, and that's what the fight with him is like. And then eventually, in phase 2, it becomes a thunderstorm. And throughout the game, you were taught to do this thing called a Skyward Strike. You like hold the Wii remote up, and then you like flick it down, and it does like a beam of energy out of the sword. So you do that, but then you do it where it strikes your sword, like you have the thunder strike your sword, and you flick it at Demise, and it's really cool, but it takes a minute, and you can technically do it with a bug net too. I've seen that. That's been really fun. Yeah, you can hold the bug net up, and it'll like strike the bug net, and you can flick the lightning with the bug net.
That's awesome.
It's pretty funny. So that's a really cool. It's one of the best boss fights in any Zelda game, honestly.
I actually read a fun fact recently where like the moments in that fight with Demise where he jumps up and he like goes like that and stabs him down or whatever. There is a similar move that Link does in Wind Waker to Ganondorf in the final battle, where Ganondorf dodges those moves because
that's cool.
Because he knows. So it's like a weird throwback to like using that move where it works.
That's sick. Yeah,
I think that part is really cool.
Well, okay, that is the final boss fight, so I'm not gonna say anything. But I'm trying to think. There was another scenario. I think in Twilight Princess. I think you do the same thing. You put the sword in like Ganon's head.
Oh, you do? Yeah,
really cool.
Yeah. That's how you get him there.
Yeah, it's a very cool. What is it? What's the word that
a callback
have, like,
or something?
Callbacks or
parallels.
Yeah,
motif.
I think
there
that was
we
the word
go.
I was looking for.
That's fancy.
Fuse, what do you have to add on that? Tell us.
Fuse, what's your favorite boss battle?
Yeah. Oh, I want to talk about boss battle. Yeah.
In general, maybe.
Yeah.
Like general, outside of Zelda or in Zelda period? Ever?
I don't know.
Ever.
Okay.
I don't know.
So,
I just asked the question.
The final battle in Kingdom Hearts 3, where you get to go and you're fighting it out, and then like Sora gets like shot with something, like you think like, fuck, I get an automatic game over. This is over.
Is Xehanort
But
the
no.
bad one in that?
He's the
Yeah.
bad one in all of them, I think.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Everyone's
he's the bad guy
Xehanorted.
everywhere.
Xehanorted.
Yeah,
Everyone's
no,
Xehanort,
everyone. That was the
dude.
thing. Everyone got Norted, right?
Sora is part
Oh,
Xehanort.
really?
Whatever this is.
I
It's
need
crazy.
to. I watched like a story summary video once of Kingdom Hearts. And it was it's really convoluted.
Dude, once you get past Kingdom Hearts 1, it's a shit show.
There's
what I've
not a
been told.
map. Just skip it to 3 and just
Yeah.
have fun.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, just good luck. Just let it take you.
Kingdom Hearts 1, 2, and then 3. Don't get distracted. Just go. Just try. You'll be fine.
Fair enough.
Yeah, good
You'll
luck.
be fine.
I think this game also has some of the best boss fights in general, in my opinion. I think the one that comes to mind is the one you use the whip on in the water temple in this game.
Oh, the ancient sister.
Oh,
yeah.
that's such a cool fight where you're literally
Yeah.
whipping the thing and you rip its arm off and you take
Yeah.
the sword in his arm and you whack him with it and you're like, oh, it's such a
Yep.
cool fight. And that's like the best feeling boss fight in like the entire series, like one of them, if not the best.
I love Koloktos. I couldn't remember his name. I just had to Google it. But
Which
the
one
guy
is that?
with like the billion arms and like stuff
Yeah,
that's
oh,
flying
big
around.
tentacle man
Dude,
in
that
the,
guy's
on the boat.
wild.
Yeah.
Wait, is that the whip one? Is that what we were talking about? No.
Oh my
No,
God, Gabe,
Koloktos is the
octopus-
whip one, yeah.
octopus
Oh,
game
is he?
here, it's
Octopus.
coming.
So we're talking about the same one. We're talking about the same one, Hasty.
No,
Yeah.
Koloktos
Yep.
is the guy who has all the
Or-
swords and stuff. He's
Yeah,
like-
that's
Yeah,
what I'm
that-
saying.
yeah,
And you use the
you guys are
whip
saying
to like.
tentacles.
Oh,
No,
I
that's
said
me
that.
confused
I
with-
confused
me-
it.
I'm
I'm
getting
sorry.
confused.
Gabe,
I don't know.
No, you're good.
Well,
The-
we're ending the episode now.
That's
It's
over.
over.
Guys, bye everybody.
We ruined it. Bye.
awkward percent speed run.
Yeah. Anyways, I agree with you, Hasty. That is a fantastic boss.
Yeah.
We're agreeing on it. We just got confused. It's the
Tentacle
same thing,
guy's
yeah.
cool too.
He's okay.
And
yeah,
I only
he's
blame
big
one person.
What do you guys think you're?
jackass?
Oh, hey, whoa, Fuse. You know what?
What's he doing now? What's he gonna show us this
What's
time?
this gonna show us? Oh,
What do you
Wait,
think
what is-
Metroid would say? What do you think Mrs. Metroid would say to this?
I'm not gonna
Isn't
lie.
that like
I thought that
Samus's
was a
mom or
vile
something
plume.
technically?
Wait, what'd you say, Austin?
Nothing. I'm just being
Vile
silly.
plume.
Okay.
I was like, oh, yo, nice vile plume, man.
Yeah, great boss fights though. Am I right, gang?
Absolutely.
So I love the very first Girahim fight, which is the first temple. That's
cool
the
one.
boss fight in that one. I think that's probably second favorite. My first favorite is definitely Koloktos.
I remember
as well. I mean,
playing
everybody loves that one.
The Girahim fight. It was the demo in like the Walmarts and stuff. Like that would. That
Oh,
was,
yeah.
Like that was the demo that you would play in like in stores and GameStops and stuff for the game. Like you would just
Yep.
do that boss fight, and it was really cool. And I was like, wow, this is that. Now I want this game. Of course, I was like 12 at the time, so I was like in middle school or something. But yeah, I don't know. It was really cool. So.
I'm gonna be honest though. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Well,
Hasty.
I was gonna say, did you guys get the edition of the game that came with the 25th
Music?
anniversary
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
CD? Oh yeah, we didn't do
Yeah.
music.
Are we? What is he?
We're going
Actually, I have
Right
it
here,
pulled up right
baby.
now.
Wow, you
Oh, it's
still
Mario
have it?
Strikers. No.
No, that's
Wait,
so
look underneath it.
cringe.
Look underneath it.
I do
You're a
have the
fake
music
fan.
disc somewhere, and I did get that version.
I got that
So
CD.
funny.
I played that CD so hard in my car that it doesn't work anymore. It scratched so hard that I had to throw it away.
It's a great OST.
Strikers
I
is
do have it
crazy.
somewhere. I don't
Wind
know
Waker
where.
Orchestral Movement is the best song ever made.
Oh yeah,
ever.
1000%.
So you guys know how on the Xbox, I don't know if you guys had Xbox 360s or whatever, but you could listen to music if you put like a disc in while you were playing a game.
Oh yeah.
I tried that out, and I think I remember it working, or maybe what? What happened?
What do you do?
Uh-oh, too.
What do you?
Oh, what happened?
What do you
What's
do?
he doing?
What are you doing?
Austin.
I was what? I just put my headphones on for a
you were
second.
saying that to me.
No, I just take it.
Austin.
It sounded like he was preparing us for something.
I was like,
Octopus.
oh.
I
Was
thought you were like.
I was
you were
waiting
like,
for what you're
"Uh-oh,
doing."
Stinky.
No,
Oh
no,
no,
you're
I think I remember putting it in my 360 when I was like playing like a digital game one time, and it actually was working, I think. Or it might have been like a burn, like we ripped it to our computer, burned it off of iTunes on like a just like a generic disc and played it that way, maybe something like that. But it was, I was like, Nintendo on Xbox.
I feel like I should have done that, where I should have taken like the disc itself and put it on like a different disc that I don't care about, so then I still have the original one. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, no, this is the first time. I don't know if it was the first time, but they had like an orchestra for the 25th anniversary of this. I watched the Kid. I don't know if you guys know who Kid and Krista is on YouTube, whatever. Shout out to Kid and Krista. They are former Nintendo employees. They used to work like the PR and all the events for Nintendo. They're like a couple. They're like the I think they're a couple. I think so. Anyways, they're really cool. They're the ones who organized like the event of like the 25th anniversary for Zelda for this game, and it was really cool to like listen to their perspective of that and hear about like how they heard the oh my god, imagine hearing that like live orchestra doing that music.
I'd be sobbing on the floor.
Yeah, Kit said Krista said she was sobbing when she did the event. Yeah, so
I cry at
really
the recording. Cool. Like I could not.
Yeah, for sure. We're gonna have some emotions here on the music showcase. Which Gabe, if you would like to go ahead and get us on our feels.
Yes. So hey, listen, I have them pulled up on YouTube. Please don't crucify me.
I can't fucking believe you, Gabe.
I
gave
know,
you
dude,
an entire website.
You did? Well, I couldn't find it, bro. You said, like, remember last time, right after we were done recording, you were like, okay, well, once we're done, blah, 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 we'll fuck.
Yeah, I do that every time. I say, oh, we're going to do this next time after we're done recording.
I know. I forgot.
And then I immediately leave because I'm like, I don't like any of you. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Fuck you. Can I just say that some of the weaker fights in this game are literally really bad? Like the second one, that weird ball that you throw bombs at. I think it's one of the worst Zelda
the ball that rolls at you.
Yeah.
He's so bland, and he's a big rock. And then also that giant squid octopus whatever thing with the huge eye. It was cool. It was a cool build up, like when you're like running out to go up and fight him, but that boss itself, it is really ugly.
It looks like a Monsters
and just stupid.
Character.
Yeah, exactly. Like Mike Wazowski, but like squid or whatever. You know?
It looks like his girlfriend. You know the
yes, he does. He looks just like Mike Wazowski's girlfriend.
Yeah. I had Hasty. Don't play it yet. Before I finish telling the story. I suggested a raid to Hasty the other night to somebody who was playing Skyward Sword. And I didn't realize they were in like the moment that she was talking about that she like sobs at every time.
Yes, she like literally the exact moment with like Impa and Zelda. I'm like, oh wow, this is so great. And then my power went out.
Oh no!
As I was watching her, I was like, come on. It was
she texted me like, why would you do that to me? And I was like, I didn't know. I'm sorry.
It was perfect.
Monica's a great streamer. She's chill.
Yeah, she's wonderful.
Oh, it was Monica. Yeah.
Yeah. But anyways, all right. Let's watch some Zelda. I'm turning my thing on now. Cool. All right. Let's hear it. Give it to me.
First song is just Skyloft. It's the cozy. You know, think of it at like Sunday at 12 p.m. and maybe you're making lunch or maybe you just ate and you're you're cozy.
Yeah,
so here we go.
The little shake, the little maraca, or I think it's tambourine.
That's the electric guitar.
I just want to go to the farmer's market.
Yeah,
true.
Exactly.
Oh my god, that's definitely the vibe here. It's like, oh, I'm at the market, I'm picking little fruits out. I'm having like a relaxing Sunday, getting errands done, just hanging out. Yeah.
Give me your carefree laughter.
Yeah. You're like, I'll try that little free sample at Costco. Sure, why not?
So can I have 4 more? My family's over here. I know. It's just for me. I'm not getting any.
Please just fuel my addiction of free samples at Costco.
I
love this.
It's great at like just this game really does like it brings life to wherever you are. You're like, okay, I am definitely in the sky right now. I can't really articulate better than that, just because I don't know. I think that's just it. I feel like I am floating in the sky right now on some island.
Oh yeah, 100%. It feels like it feels like the filler episode of an anime. Right.
Yeah.
The sky theme
next-
is also fantastic. I see that next on the thing.
Yes, the sky theme.
Yeah.
So this is once you finally have your borb and you get to fly and you hear it for the first time and you're just it's just so orchestra. Just flying throughout the sky. Unfortunately, the sky is empty in this game, but it's
You're
fine.
given purpose.
Yeah, exactly.
But I will say this is reminiscent of like the first time you enter Hyrule Field in like Ocarina of Time or something.
Yep.
Where it's like a similar-ish theme of like, I'm on the adventure now. Let's go.
Yes,
Yaha.
yeah.
We are finally done with the horribly long intro. Can I have
Yeah.
fun now? No, but you know.
It's like the first route after you leave hometown in any
Yes.
Pokemon game.
Yeah, exactly. It's great. It's fantastic. Oh my god, do you remember the Thunderhead cloud? That was wild. That entire
Yeah.
quest line was crazy. Also, I didn't like the way the eyes exploded on the whale thing. It made me uncomfortable.
Yeah, that was a little disturbing.
I was like, ooh, that's a little yucky. But yeah, anyway, great theme.
So this is my favorite song from Skyward Sword. It's the Faron Woods theme because I mean I always love like
It's a good
the
one.
Faron region, but it's just so pretty and fun. You're finally on the ground. It's time for the first temple.
The Kikwees are hiding and terrified that you're gonna
That's
eat
right.
them. That dumb himbo Link is gonna eat a Kikwee.
He is. They look
Aw.
scrumptious.
I would eat one.
Yeah, I'd eat the
Would.
bulb. I wouldn't eat the whole thing, you know.
I would eat a Kiwi before I ate a Korok, for sure.
Right. Yeah.
True. I would just rather torture a Korok, but yeah, that's
Yeah,
just me.
yeah. Koroks are for murder.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
right.
Koroks are for war crimes.
Yeah.
I love the big Kikwi in this game or in this area. Yeah, he's like,
Pew.
and he's got the big voice, like, and he's got the
you nailed it.
giant stash. Oh, it's so great, so wonderful. Yeah, it's a good theme.
I'm gonna skip a little bit ahead because it has.
Ooh.
I love it. This is probably my favorite part. Very
Little
magical, but
mix-up.
very earthy.
I forget what it's called when they do like a mix-up bit here. It's like not a. I don't know. I'll look up the music term later. But there's a term for when like, because there's like a general like ABC segment, and then it goes into it. There's like some songs will have
Like
a
a
B
bridge?
segment. Yeah, I guess a bridge. A bridge usually like lead into something else, but there's something about like this segment is like totally different from the rest of the song. I can't remember what it's called though.
A McDouble.
Yeah, that's right.
That
I'm
sounds
sorry.
right, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I learned that.
bringing Grimace back around.
I learned that in geography class.
Yeah.
I love the American school system.
E equals MC squared, bro. Don't forget that for the rest of your life.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Okay, so Girahim's battle theme. We love
It's a great
Girahim, so let's
one.
go ahead and listen to it.
Ugh.
He just got done licking you, and now it's time to kill him.
He just
Out
got
of
licking.
context.
I know, right? He's got done licking you down like a damn stamp, and he's ready to fucking put your ass down.
They have, it's very, evil and sinister sounding, but it's also very like royal and, like majestic as well. Like Art of War kind of almost sounding.
It's very like dynamic though, like up down up down.
Yep.
1000%. Yeah, I get that. It's very much akin to his personality of like he's doing it in a glamorous way. It reminds me of like I don't know if you guys have played Undertale, like Metaton, and like that kind of similar vibe of like I'm gonna beat you glamorously, not because you're so beneath me, and I don't believe in you. You know, they're not like fighting it out for their entire life. They're like, oh no, blah, blah, blah. They're not desperate about it. Yeah.
It reminds me of Seymour from Final Fantasy X.
Yeah, good one.
Or if you played Dark Souls 3, there's the Dancer of the Boreal Valley, which that whole fight is just a huge dance, and she just is like so. Oh, it's awesome.
I love it.
Fight. Okay, but yeah, that's basically the song. The best part, Ancient Cistern under. So the Ancient Cistern, really quickly before I play this.
Oh yes, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. Continue.
So basically, that whole dungeon it's heaven and hell. I forget what the story. Well, not the story. Well, there's a story underground when you're like climbing up like a spider web or something. But basically, it's heaven and hell. I think can't remember if it's like Buddhism or Hinduism or something like that. But it's
definitely
like
Buddhist.
It's Buddhist. Okay, yeah, that. But it's so it's very Eastern themed, of course. Japanese game being Eastern, that's crazy. No, I'm just kidding. But basically, you start off in heaven. you get the item, you get keys, you solve puzzles, whatever. It's Zelda
Yeah.
still. But then you go underground, you go under the ancient cistern. It's still the dungeon, and it's all of a sudden you're like, what the fuck? Like this is
It's
like
a
it's
very
purple,
different
it's dark.
theme. It's very cool.
Yeah. You could I think you fall down a hole or something, and that's supposed to be hell. And basically you make it to the end where the big key, the master key, whatever it's called in the game is, and you find yourself going up a spider web or just like a rope or something, and it's supposed to be like it represents like a story of a man who was down in hell trying to climb up, but like demons or souls or whatever were like trying to you're getting chased by the zombie bokoblins, whatever, and it's kind of that story from, I don't know if that's like a parable or something.
Yeah.
But the Ancient Sister underground music is really, really good. It's obviously kind of slow. It's kind of Silent Hilly, a little bit,
spooky,
like in
the
the
way it
dark
should
world.
be.
Yeah.
It is spooky.
Yeah.
Spooky. I'm scarred.
And there's not really, I mean, there are enemies down here. It's just like never-ending zombie hordes, though. They're slow, but they will always overwhelm you.
The bokoblin skeleton zombies always terrified me. I was like, what the fuck? Get those things out
Yeah,
of
that
here.
part is like the part where it's like, okay, once you get the thing, I need to get the F out of here
Yes.
ASAP.
we are gonna Rooski.
Yeah,
Yeah.
1000%.
God, I didn't like.
It's just
I don't even know how to describe it. It's
got
so
such a weird ambiance to it. Yeah.
I'm like unsettled thinking. Like imagine like just listening to this, like playing this game, being at this part of the dungeon at night or by yourself. It doesn't even have to be at night. But you're just by yourself in your room,
2
tucked
a.m.
away.
And you're like, ooh, what about this? Yeah.
This isn't Zelda.
Yeah,
But then,
this is
you know-
like Twilight Princess vibes.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
They know how to do scary.
They fucking do, and
They
they
really
know
do.
if they made like a horror Zelda, like straight up, I know obviously they would never do that, but I mean I'm sure they would nail it.
Yeah.
But so let's climb back up from hell, and let's just hit up heaven for
So
a minute.
it's
I'd
the
rather
rest of
see
the ancient cistern. Yeah, that's a good
right.
thing.
Obviously a lot more. This is that's a very low res picture,
Best
but
dungeon, best
Yes.
music, best boss fight. Such
Mhm.
a great peak Zelda. Peak
Zelda.
right here.
Totally.
Yeah.
If you guys have any other music, because this was the last one I had, because I was just kind of doing it while we were talking
Hey,
about
Steve,
stuff.
what's
but
that song? Let us know. What's the one that would?
We could do the demise fight.
Demise
That's kind of what I was
fight's good.
thinking.
Yeah. Or Groose's theme. We gotta play Groose's
yeah, we gotta do
theme.
Bruce's theme.
We
so
gotta
good.
play his theme. That's such a good one. Yeah.
I will say, like, Zelda's Lullaby has a really good song in this. We don't have to listen to it, but those moments.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Between Zelda and other characters when they play Zelda.
This is like a very
Lullaby
good
is really
like. Yeah, it's very ambiance. Yeah.
And I always thought this song was a little creepy too, just because it's very like, it's very spiritual, and you're like, even if it's a good spiritual, it's still like, ooh, I don't want to die.
12-year-old me questioning life and death.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, oh man,
Well-
does God exist? Or like, what's going on with that?
I'm not eternal. I gotta start worrying
Yeah,
about.
I gotta
this
start.
stuff.
Yeah.
That
the
was God.
existentialism.
It
Yeah,
was
there he
God.
was.
That was God right there.
What is
Yeah.
that thumbnail?
This is like a remix. It looks like
Remix.
It's God. What do you mean?
Yeah, there he is. God's a man. And he looks like
That's
Bruce.
God.
Yeah.
I always knew God was a himbo. Oh,
Yes.
very just like.
I want to cosplay Bruce so bad. I want to cosplay him so bad.
You should. What?
I have,
That'd
like,
be
the
an easy enough
build.
cosplay. You should.
Yeah, I feel like I have the build for it. I just need the wig. The wig would be the hardest part.
Yeah.
Bum, 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 such himbo bully energy. I love it.
Yep.
Himbos are the best trope in anything. JFK, great. Mwah, himbo, great. Love
Da
it.
Vinci.
No, I mean the Clone High one. Sorry, I just realized y'all didn't get that right.
I'm like, JFK was not a himbo.
Is a himbo.
Sorry. I was like, I should specify the one from Clone High, the animated television series.
Oh.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah. Oh, him. Yeah. My
Yeah,
bad.
oh,
Totally.
Absolutely.
Got him.
Anyways, great show. If y'all haven't seen Clone High, definitely go recommend watching it.
what is this?
Yeah.
This is.
Let's do phase 2.
Yeah, phase
Okay. So this one says phase 1 and 2. Should I just skip through it?
two. You just hit this. Just hit phase 2.
Well, okay.
phase-
Well, here,
phase
let's think
two's
about
better.
it. Let's just sit here.
All right, we'll
for a
build.
few
We'll
minutes.
build.
No,
It's
I'm
fine.
kidding. I'm kidding.
Hold on.
This is
Gabe,
probably.
I'm so done with your shit. I'm using my maybe you touched your genital
Yes.
hand sanitizer.
Oh, God.
Stop it.
Turn this up.
Look what you've done.
Turn this shit up. I throw ass to this.
Oh damn! He twerked him.
Oh!
You going in?
I would dance if I had space, but green screen and all. Yeah! Oh, awesome! The master, the Zelda sword.
The sword out. That's a good fight. That's a good boss thing. My thing's getting caught on my fucking plastic thing.
Stop it! Stop it!
So I don't ruin my carpet.
Oh wait, what? Oh, I didn't close that. Never mind. So this game, has great music. One region I do not like the music of is fucking Elden. I'm gonna play that. I just to
I'd say we can
sulk a
always
little
play
bit.
bad music too. Like that's okay. If they
Elden.
have bad music.
I think I remember not liking this one. Maybe I'm just.
Your stream ended, by the way.
Oh shit! Yeah, you're right. I just started playing it, so perfect timing. All right, here we go. So this is
All right.
Elden Volcano. I hate it. I like the region itself, but it's just the song. It's so just. It just annoys me. If this song was a human, it'd be like Lil Jimmy, like your little brother. It's like, hey, my Tom Fortnite, just something like that. I don't know. Just.
You also hate Driftvale City, and that's insane to me.
It annoys me. That is also the Little Jimmy equivalent for song.
I still that one that's an L take. That's your one L take. Gabe, I'm sorry.
Good. What are you talking about? This song is not good.
This is not good. Yes, this is. I agree with you on this one, Gabe.
Elden,
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't really like Groos's song either.
Well, Groos's song is not like pretty
you're off
or
the
anything, but
you're off the podcast. Goodbye.
butt poop.
brother, it was like a 5 out of 10 at best.
All right.
If
well,
you knew Groose, it would help the song a little bit.
Exactly.
but-
Would help
Exactly.
I'm just going off of outside looking in. It's like that the song that plays when like the meme goes up in an anime and some bad thing
That's
happens
who he
to them.
is.
Yeah. That
It
sounds
was
right.
If
The
it
song
really
is fitting
his
for what it
character, That
is.
means he's basic, dude. What am I supposed to say?
That means the song
I mean,
did its
it's
job.
kinda
So
basic. Yeah, exactly.
You know what? Vile Plume would like to say something to you.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
you, Fuse.
Well, on
Who
that
loves
note,
you?
I think that kind of concludes our discussion of Skyward Sword. We're gonna give it an overall rating out of 10. Of course, 1 being awful, dog shit, Duke Nukem levels, ET from home, and 10 is like Elden Ring, Tears of the Kingdom.
Pietro.
Now not Breath of the Wild. I mean, Breath of the Wild's still 10 out of 10 too, but
Right.
let's start with Gabe. Go to Fuse, the Hasty, and then myself. So, Gabe, give us your rating.
I usually like to stick to 0.5s or just solid 0 or whatever. But I would say this game. I'm going to talk about the Switch version.
Yeah,
no,
I would.
It's not fair. I have to.
I'll rate. I'd say we could rate both, but I definitely would recommend to anybody out there if you were to if you haven't played this game before and you're trying to pick it up, definitely play the Switch version. That is definitely the definitive version. I think it is a much more enjoyable experience than the Wii version.
Yeah.
If you really want to experience a nostalgia version of Wii, go for it. It's going to be a 50, 60-hour experience for you versus the 40-hour experience that's on the Switch. So, anyways, that's my bit on that. So go ahead, Gabe.
So I would say for the Wii version, like a 6.5 or a 7 out of 10. Really, it is held back hardcore by the motion controls. And just, I mean, yeah, that's really, because that obviously is the whole game. You have to deal with that, and really flying is a chore sometimes. Flicking, you can never just fly straight because you need to flap your wings, and then when you do that, it kind of, I know that's not a big deal or anything. You have a whole open sky to worry about, but it's annoying having to deal with that. And then diving is terrible. The sword issues, and then just like the dowsing and everything that gets so just like tedious, and it doesn't feel like Zelda when that just throws it completely out of like what I know and love about Zelda. But then the Switch version, obviously they fixed that a lot with the thumbstick controls, which I appreciated those. They still felt just a little weird, just because like it's obviously every other Zelda game is not like that, so it's still a little bit foreign. So I would say ultimately that one 8 out of 10. Good music, colorful, fun characters, probably like the best cast of Zelda characters, if not one of the best. For sure. I wish there were, the set pieces like the Farron Woods was bigger. I feel like Gloria Falls was literally a linear path, and that was it.
That's
I
valid.
wish maybe we got like a big, area to kind of explore, like a lake, like we always do. That's fine, whatever, It's,
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a very linear game, which I get that's the story and everything, but that's what kind of takes away from the 10 out of 10 is what I would
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that though, great music, great visuals for its time, and yeah, characters. It was in dungeons very fun. So yeah, pretty good game.
Hell yeah. Outsider looking in, Fuse. Tell us about it. Tell us what you think overall. From what you've heard.
But what I've heard, repetition is awful for the game, and motion controls are ass. But I mean, I feel like there's always negatives in every kind of game, especially with stuff that's like going from the very beginning of this entire timeline. But based on music I've heard and just the controls and experience, that a lot of people have just been trashing this game on the internet while I've been looking around trying to find something to talk about with it. I give it maybe a 6 out of 10. It has its problems, sure, but like I feel like the problems also do cost. Like it feels like, by what I've read and what I've seen, is the fact that they sacrificed adventure and like exploration stuff in previous Zelda games for flashy effects and motion control, which motion control detrimented the game a lot. So I can't put it over a passing grade for me, at least as far as I can hear. Like I said, take it with a grain of salt. I've not played the game myself. But I'd say a 6 out of 10.
Fair enough.
I think as someone who's not played it, I think that's a fair enough score.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's
no,
more
that's
than I
valid.
was expecting. For me, I would say, I mean, like, I don't know, the Wii version, I guess minus 0.5 compared to the Switch. I don't really think there's that much of a difference for me to like really consider it to be like worth 2 different ratings. I would say like if you looked up a YouTube video of all the cutscenes of the game and only watched the cutscenes, it's a 10 out of 10 game. But because of the gameplay, motion controls, the lack of as much exploration as like say Breath of the Wild, it like takes it down a couple of notches. But I would still definitely mark this game as like a 9 out of 10 for me. It's just still really, really worth playing, and sometimes like the battles and getting through the dungeons and stuff can be a little bit mindless. Oh, surprise from my cat.
I saw him jump
Derek
up
is
over there.
Derek, he made his return. Yes, I was
void.
worried.
The guest star to the guest star.
Yeah.
Derek, say hello. It's Papa's time.
Yes.
Derek,
As
Derek-
I
Oh my
jump up
gosh.
here, I need to leave.
Derek
love
rates it
Derek
a
so
3 out of 10. He's a hater.
Oh my
that's
god,
valid.
you know what? I
know.
agree.
Yeah.
I'm changing my score. I have to match Derek.
All right, that's valid. No annihilate, so.
He's a big hater.
Yeah.
But I would
You
give it a
just
9 out of
meant
10.
to hurt me, don't you? Ouch.
Also, I thought the whole fee interruptions thing, yes, they were annoying, but people would say, oh, that was one of the biggest reasons I hated the game. I'm like, dude, that's like such a, like you just click A really quickly, kind of thing. I feel like that's, obviously it's not as detrimental as, motion control, whatever.
So for me, I think I have big nostalgia goggles on, kind of like Hasty, where this has started my love for this franchise. So I think the story, big time, carries the game. I think like story alone is just like a 9. It's just so cool. But if I had to give it a retrospective look, I think a more realistic rating is more like a 7.5, 7. But my personal rating is definitely gonna be like an 8.5. Like I just have such a soft spot for this game. I love it so much. The Switch version is definitely the definitive version. Like play that if you're gonna play it. Yeah, it's just
That
fun.
smooth 60
It's
FPS.
just great. Oh yeah, the 60 FPS makes it look amazing, and the art style and the rework of the art, it's been fantastic. So, but anyways, that's
What did you think about fighting the in prison 4 times? What did you think about that?
I fought it a 3rd time, and I was like, oh, that's the last one. I'm sure, right? And then that's the thought you have every time you replay this game is like, oh, that's the last one, and then it happens again, and you're like, what the fuck, dude? Not again. Oh, all right. Well, that's gonna do it for us on the Boost View podcast. we're gonna go ahead and I'll put here who won the gift card from last time.
Nice
But
job.
if this video gets 20 likes, we'll say 20 likes again. We will give away a gift card to $10 Nintendo gift card to somebody in the comments. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And if you're listening on Spotify, go on the YouTube video, subscribe, and do all that, and or any other listening platforms. Hasty, where can they find you on the internet?
Won't.
Yeah, true.
They won't. You can find me on Twitch, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. I have a profile, but I don't have any videos, so it's all Hasty Gloom everywhere.
Hell yeah. Well, thank you again, Hasty, for being on. It's always a pleasure to have you.
Indeed.
Yeah. Any last bits or nickels, gamers?
No, I'm broke.
Spot up sucks.
Yeah, true. I feel that.
Oh, wow.
But you don't hear it him into the Lego.
Some
Good
Gira
one,
impressions before we go.
Yeah. There you go.
I can't do that for free.
My friend Jack actually like knows like his whole like dialogue with Link. You know, like when you first meet him and he's like furious. You know,
That's
you know,
wild.
Just, yeah.
Oh my god.
Amazing.
It's like the
Good.
people who remember like the college humor bits of oh my god, what's his name in the game show? They remember like oh my god, I don't remember his name. Anyways, that's gonna do us for us the BB podcast. I couldn't do it. I couldn't figure out the bit.
You tried. You tried.
You
was
could
a
see
try
in
and
his
effort.
eyes the second he gave up on that thought.
Yeah. Okay. Bye everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Spide up. Spide up. Spide up.
No, bad.
Bye.